Star Fox Nintendo Switch 2 sales are exploding before launch, and we have to talk about this because it bodes really well for keeping Star Fox in the consistent rotation of games that Nintendo players are going to be able to play throughout the generation of the Nintendo Switch 2. But before we continue, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 at 140,000 subscribers or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment. The winner will be chosen at random, and it's a worldwide giveaway. Thanks, peeps. Let's start off with what's happening here with the sales. We'll get into why it's doing so great and the gameplay itself. The demo is out in stores in addition to the eShop, so I want to talk about that. I did play through it a number of times, so if you haven't played Star Fox, you got to listen on what's going on about this game because it is fantastic. So let's first start off with the Amazon best sellers. This isn't the be all end all. Obviously, games are sold at Walmart and Target, of course on the eShop, which will get the best sellers for those once the game drops. They're sold lots of different places, but Amazon, one of the biggest game retailer sites out there, you can definitely see if a game is maybe doing somewhat good starting out, if it's continuing to dominate those sales charts from the beginning. And that's what we've seen since pre-orders went live with Star Fox. Even at one point, which I covered in a previous video, where they were selling through so many pre-orders that they actually had to stop taking them for quite some time. In that time period, Amazon probably went to Nintendo and said, hey, we have this many pre-orders, we really need more of them, and they ordered more to come in because it does seem like it's going to be a big or somewhat of a hit launch at this point. So that's good. You want to see that because they've been able to put in pre-orders down for quite some time. So they ordered a lot more. So here's the thing. On the Amazon best sellers right now for overall video games, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, that special edition, you guys know Fire Emblem fans, they're going to go out there and buy that in droves. That's pretty much number one for games. But when it comes to standard games, Star Fox is number two when it comes to best-selling games. The Nintendo Switch 2 is the best-selling system. So games and system right now, Fire Emblem and Star Fox 1 and 2, but when it comes to normal games, Star Fox top game on there. So you want to see that, especially leading into the launch of a game. Then if you go on the new release section, so these are the games that have released within the last couple of months or so and are still selling great amongst some of the newer games that are coming out or games that are going to be coming out. Star Fox once again topped the chart, actually beating out Tomodachi Life on there. Now Tomodachi Life has been out for a bit, but to see Star Fox up there with the ranks of a big seller like Tomodachi Life, which does great on Amazon. People always buy that, consistently selling tens of thousands of copies on Amazon. That is a good sign. Not saying that it's going to outsell Tomodachi Life, because it's probably not going to outsell Tomodachi Life. But what you're seeing here is that there's a lot of interest in the pre-orders, there's a lot of interest in the game, and of course you get that nice discount because the game is $60 when it comes to most places, but it's $50 physical on Amazon. Walmart's also price matching that. Now on the Nintendo Switch 2 charts themselves, just Switch 2, not including other games, Star Fox is also the top game on there, beating out games like Pocopia, pre-orders for Splatoon Raiders, and Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. So Star Fox has been a constant in the top sellers, whether it's the first, second, or third place. It hasn't really dipped below anything past third place or so. Other games have came out and you'll see it dip a bit, but then it just goes right back up. So once again, this is pivotal and key for this game's success to continue being one of the better sellers and one of the more anticipated games coming out on the Nintendo Switch 2 for the core gamers out there. One of the most talked about games. People have been talking about Star Fox, the visuals, the demos, all the stuff that's happening, the price. That is what you also want to see as well. You want to see it constantly being talked about in the media amongst Nintendo players, amongst the fans out there, and hopefully entice people to go out there and pick up a Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I do have to mention this. The price of Star Fox being $60 for the physical when it comes to what Nintendo's selling, normal MSRP, but then also $50 digital. I think that helps out a ton. Everything is so expensive in today's day when it comes down to it, and Star Fox is a nice price. That is a impulse buy type of price for a lot of gamers out there. Not everybody, but for a lot of gamers. You put games at 50 bucks, that's down to GameCube levels. That's absolutely consumer friendly with the pricing. And once again, it gets people down to like, okay, you know what? I remember Star Fox 64. That game was really good. I played it back in the day, or I played it at a friend's house, or I just remember having good vibes and good times with Star Fox and crew, so maybe I'll pick it up. And I think that there's probably a lot of people out there that maybe didn't grow up with Star Fox, but they're into Nintendo now because Star Fox hasn't been relevant at all for the last decade. I mean, there hasn't been any new game when it comes to Star Fox. He's in Smash Brothers, obviously the Mario movie. There's been some good stuff, but when it comes to his own game, even Star Fox Zero was a massive flop on a system that flopped. So you have to go back even further than that, when Star Fox was even on a system that was viable, maybe like Star Fox Command or something like that. And that game kind of low-key flopped too. Wasn't terrible considering the development scope and size of the game, but it's not like that game sold millions upon millions of copies. So the last time that Star Fox was really relevant and being talked about this much was probably like Star Fox 64 or something like that. That's the last time that I've seen this many people excited to play a Star Fox game and to get hype about the characters and everything. And probably because Star Fox 64 is the best one. It's the best one, and now it's back at this point with a massive overhaul. So I think that this is absolutely good. The price helps reflect that. It makes it easy for people to be able to try it out. So I do like that. Now the demo in stores and on the eShop, once again, this is crucial. There are some games that don't necessarily need a demo because the type of game is weird or because people are going to just buy it anyway. So I get that. But for a game like Star Fox, where people haven't really been playing it, it's not a known entity when it comes to its own game. A lot of people just know Star Fox from Super Smash Brothers. I think that this was key that they get that demo out there. They went the step above though. Not only did they do an eShop demo for gamers to be able to get their hands on the game and play it, but they also did the demo in stores like they do sometimes as well. There have been people that have said, oh man, I wish they did eShop demos more. They did the reverse this time. They did the eShop demo first, then put it in stores, Walmart, Best Buy, Targets. You can be able to play at demo units in there. So if you're just passing by and you want to check it out, you can do that. This, once again, fantastic move getting it into the hands. I've actually seen a number of people kind of reach out to me and say, I wasn't thinking about getting it, but I tried out the demo because I'm not really a Star Fox fan, and that actually enticed me to pick it up. And once again, at the impulse buy type of price, the much lower price of $50 for the game, whether it's digital or on Amazon or Walmart, it makes it so much more enticing for new fans who don't know about Star Fox or people that just have a okay interest in it and want to try it out more. So that is awesome. Love to see the demo stores, love to see the eShop demo when it makes sense. Now the thing about this is that I played the demo. I played the demo a number of times, and it is fantastic. Oh my gosh, there's so many cool things about this demo. Now, I do think that there are some things that they can hopefully tweak at the launch. I mean, it'd be cool to be able to customize your controls maybe a bit more when it comes to that. But for the most part, the controls are really good. And if you have a Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, you can have the back mapping buttons, the GL and GR, map those, and that kind of alleviates any other type of issues, maybe shooting bombs and detonating them. But I really enjoyed the demo. I thought there was a number of different things that made the demo super fun to play that I do want to talk about. So the smooth visuals and the highly detailed cinematics. I think this is probably the best graphics on the Nintendo Switch 2, or easily one of the best graphics on the Nintendo Switch 2. The game looks fantastic, from the ships themselves, the atmosphere, the color scheme, the explosions. Everything just has this really high quality visual polish to it. I talked about that in my video that I talked about the development studio, Velen Studios, their Viper engine. This Viper engine is just fantastic for rendering and showing all the different graphics in smooth 60 frames per second. When I was playing the game, it felt like butter. It felt like everything just gelled together. I wasn't fighting with the controls or fighting with the graphics to kind of see what was going on. Sometimes there's some clutter or breaking, or just doesn't have a clean image. This is just such a nice and clean image when it comes to the resolution and when it comes to the frame rate and just playing the game itself. And once again, everything is so neatly organized when it comes to the UI and the heads-up display. It just feels great to play the game and play it over and over like an arcade game back in the day, like you're putting the quarters in or something like that, even though you're not dying as much as some of those old school arcade games. So I loved the visuals, and I think that the highly detailed cinematics are phenomenal. They really add a lot to it. And like I've said before in videos, and I'll say it again, back when I was playing Star Fox on the Super Nintendo when it first came out back in 1993, the commercials and everything, this is how I envisioned how detailed the graphics actually were. Like, it was real animals with fur and all of that looking inside of these fighter planes shooting all over the place. So to me, this is like how it's supposed to look, and I think that people are really coming around as they see the meld between the cinematics, the graphics, and everything kind of coming together. So I think that has been great to see as well. And if you look at it, lock 60 FPS, we talked about this. This is super important for this type of game. I didn't feel any type of dips or anything like that. So it was good to have that smooth gameplay. And I think that you need it. It's a rail shooter, so I wouldn't expect anything less than 60 frames per second from something like this. And once again, controls, options, definitely nice, but once again, it'd be nice if you can kind of customize it without using the system level mapping. But for the most part, outside of shooting the bombs and detonating them with the default controls without using the button mapping for the GL and GR on the back when it comes to the Pro controller, not bad. But if you're playing obviously handheld mode, you don't have those options. But everything else for the most part just is super smooth. You're never fighting with the controls in the game or feeling like something's not responsive. Everything is super fast and just plays right away, instant. As soon as you press the button, shot goes out when you try to do a barrel roll or when you try to do a half turn or any of the somersaults or any of the moves in the game. It really just works when it comes to that. And nice HD Rumble 2. I gotta talk about this because HD Rumble 2, Nintendo didn't really hype that up too much, but it's fantastic in this game. It feels great. Different shots have different vibrations and everything based on what's happening. If you get hit with something or if you shoot a bomb or whatever, the HD Rumble in this game is phenomenal. If you break a wing and like you can kind of feel the HD Rumble kind of teetering a little bit, it is really, really good. So I'm actually excited about that. I think it adds a lot to the experience. One of the things back in the day that added a lot to the experience that was new for gamers out there was the Rumble Pack. The Rumble Pack on the N64, and Star Fox was one of the games that they used to sell the Rumble Pack a lot. Was, oh, every time you shoot, you feel the rumble. It was like 007, and Star Fox was a big one for the Rumble Pack. You take this big old huge pack and you just jab it into the back of the controller, and all of a sudden it starts rumbling like crazy. Now we have the real HD Rumble here with Star Fox, and it comes down to it. So they innovated back then with Star Fox, and now they're innovating here. I think this is the best HD Rumble that Nintendo has for a Switch 2 game at this point. You have some other good ones. You have like Donkey Kong. You have some other titles that are pretty good when it comes to HD Rumble. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond actually is incredible with HD Rumble. Shooting games, I think, work really well. Anything like where you're shooting or something like that works really well. Maybe certain like fighting games, action adventure games, things like that can work really well. But man, Star Fox's HD Rumble is really good. Also, the voice acting holds up incredibly well, and it doesn't matter what language you're in, man. Like, I've actually listened to quite a number of the languages, and it's pretty cool to see. But I enjoyed the Star Fox voice acting and everything. So far right now, man, everything is pretty good with the Star Fox. I think it's going to launch really well. I think it's going to sell decently at this point. People are getting their hands on it and loving the demo. Not perfect by any means, but I do think that people are actually super excited about it. And I want to talk about one thing with this because it kind of captures the essence of what Star Fox 64 was. Nintendo picked an interesting first mission for this, and if you do that first mission, there is a secret exit in there that's just like the N64 version secret exit where you go to a place, and I thought that was a pretty cool thing to do to show people, hey, there's going to be multiple routes, multiple ways to kind of go through certain levels. There's going to be different paths, there's going to be secrets, there's going to be stuff that you'd expect from the old school games out there, and this is hopefully not too much of a tangent or something. But one of the things that I talk about on my live stream is when people talk about, oh, well, I need the highest graphics processors and the newest systems, and we need a PS6 and a next Xbox, and like we need a 50 series graphics card. And I'm thinking to myself, man, what are the games that are coming out when it comes to the quality of the games that even like make me want to go out there and spend that on everything that's new, when a lot of them aren't surpassing even what we got before? How many cool Mass Effect games have we gotten? Or how many cool Elder Scrolls games have we gotten? How many cool Fallout games that we've gotten? I mean, there hasn't really been anything when it comes down to it. So for me, at least, it's cool to go back and kind of get some of these classic games that are just beloved and played in a new way, decent price when it comes down to it, and to be able to just experience all that stuff that I played 30 plus years ago, but in a whole new manner and everything. So for me at least, this is super cool to see come back. I played Star Fox 64 religiously. I think it has some of the best game design, some of the best content when it comes to an N64 game, and to see it come back, it's just really cool. I can't wait to play more of this. So what do you guys think about Star Fox, the sales exploding, and my impressions of the demo and what's happening here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.